Hello, welcome to Millennial Secrets. I just need to give a quick trigger warning for this episode. So, we will be discussing things such as body image, weight gain, weight loss. If that's something that you do not want to listen to, completely understand, and I'll see you on the next episode. So, Kelby,
Yes.
welcome to Millennial Secrets.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited about this episode. It's all about being plus size and dating. And so I just want to start off by just reading out the definition of plus size. I just want to get your initial reaction. So according to the Cambridge Dictionary, plus size is a size of clothing for people that are larger than average. How does that make you feel?
I guess in like a traditional sense, that's it. But I think as a community or as like people, the world, it's changed quite a bit. I think like average has become slightly bigger anyway. So the
Okay.
average woman in the UK is between a size 10 and 14.
Yeah.
Whereas plus size used to be 14 and up.
Yeah.
So I think self-describing is okay. I don't think you have to listen to a dictionary.
Yeah.
I think for me, I find that if you struggle to buy clothes in a shop,
Yes.
you're probably plus size.
Brilliant. And we're going to get on to that. And I'm so sorry. Please introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and how old you are.
Sure. Hi, I'm Kelby. I'm 29. I'm from South Africa.
Brilliant. Joburg?
Yes.
Joburg,
Yes.
brilliant. Okay, so there is so much about this online. There's so much about dating as a plus size woman. It's an experience that I will never know about, never experience. So I think it's really important that we do tell these stories, and inclusion matters. So thank you so much for joining. So, in relation to dating, what has your experience been like as a plus size woman?
In terms of just like casually dating, I don't think I have much of a different experience to
Okay.
a straight size person. I think it more comes in when you're looking to settle down or have like a serious relationship. I think there's two things that happen when you date as a plus size person. The first is like you either get fetishized. I think a lot of people have this fetish of being with plus size women, and it's more to fulfill the fetish than to be with a plus size person. And I still think the other thing would be like a stigma around dating a plus size person. I think a lot of people are attracted to plus size people and might slightly be ashamed of it because of what society tells them.
Okay.
And so you get this like hidden dating or like nighttime dating.
When was the first time you knew you were plus size?
I think I've been a little bit bigger my whole life.
Okay.
My whole life I've been told things like, oh, you'd be pretty if you just lost a little bit of weight.
Oh my God. Who said that?
Kind of everyone. I've had similar things come from my family.
I'm
Guys,
so sorry to hear that.
guys I've been with. It's just kind of this like, society tells you should look like the girls in the magazine, and society tells men they should date girls who look like
Yeah.
the girls in the magazine, and so you hear these things all the time,
Yeah.
like you can't wear that dress because you're not the right body shape for that dress.
Right.
I think the F word in the plus size community is not fuck, it's flattering.
Right.
There's nothing worse than hearing, oh, that dress is so flattering on you.
Yeah, that
Like,
I always wondered
I
about
hate
that word.
it,
So
like
flattering is something that
Yeah,
is not
like-
unacceptable for you. Like if someone was to say, "Oh, we should get that those jeans are really flattering."
Yeah.
Does that mean is that code for those don't make you look as big?
Yeah, it's code for it hides your plus sizeness.
Okay. And according to what I've done, like the research and all of that, plus size in this country is a size 18,
Yes.
and then which in the US is a size 14.
Yes.
Do you think that's an accurate representation?
Yeah, so I'm part of a lot of communities on like WhatsApp, and we have meetups, whatever. In our plus size community, we consider anything 16 or up.
16 or up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That we consider that plus size.
Right. So in relation to dating, so let's just say you're on an app, okay? And I know that you're in a relationship and we're going to get onto that. But let's say, for example, you're on an app, you're really excited, you're just swiping away. What kind of messages have you received? Like, has there been anything about your body or...
Oh yeah, I've matched with people, and then guys have gone straight in and been like, you should lose some weight. Like straight in, first message.
Oh my God.
And you're just like, why would you match with me? Like, you took time out of your whole day to tell me this. You don't, oh, cool, thanks, bro. Like,
So it's not even a genuine match. It's just some prick online who thinks it's
Yeah.
funny to tell you to lose weight.
yeah.
Do you have any other examples?
Kind of things where like a guy would be like really into me, or someone would be, I'm bisexual, so I I date around.
I didn't know that, but we're definitely going to talk about that in a bit.
But when and I will say it's very much more cis het men who do this.
Yes.
You know, there was a time when I was running every week and I was hitting the gym quite hard, and then they would be like, oh, we could hit the gym together. Okay, I don't need you to make hitting the gym my goal. That's
So,
something I do for me, not
How did they know that you were hitting the gym? Were you
because we'd like talk, like, oh, what do
Okay,
you do?
right.
Like, oh, why are you up? So I'm a morning person, so I'd get up early,
Yeah.
go to the gym, or go for a run, and then be like, oh, why were you up so early this morning? Oh, I went for a run. Oh, well, if you want to get fit, we can do it together. Just because I'm fat doesn't mean I'm not fit.
Okay.
You know, like that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people do it under this guise of like, but I'm looking out for you, you know, like it's good for your health and we can do it. But you're just being a shitty person.
Right.
You know, like,
So you've had someone who's come on, well, a plethora of men have come on and told you to lose weight, and then what do they just unmatch after they say
well,
that?
I unmatch.
You unmatch?
Yeah, normally I'll send like a really, I don't know, passive aggressive message to be like, so glad you took time out of your busy schedule to tell me that.
Yeah.
And then unmatch, or I'll just unmatch. I think that the last thing anyone who's plus size needs to hear is that they should lose some weight. Trust me, we know, or we think it ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Okay. How did you feel about your body growing up?
I've never liked my body ever.
Really?
Yeah. I think
I'm so sorry to hear that.
it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. I'm at that point when I'm acceptance. I'm nearly 30. I don't care. If you don't like my body, look away. Like, I'm happy. I'm healthy. I have no like health issues where doctors have been like, oh, you need to lose weight to not die or whatever. Obviously losing all weight is going to be beneficial, but I'm not going to make it my be all and end all.
Yeah. You're not defined by your body, and
Exactly.
no one should be defined by the way that they look or their body and that sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, self-acceptance comes from the inside and it shows on the outside,
exactly.
right? Okay. So that's the first thing. And then, so you've got a boyfriend.
Yes.
Tell me about how you met him.
We met on an app called, I think now it's called Wax, but it used to be called WeRx.
Okay.
WeRx is essentially a spin-off. Well, it's not even a spin-off. It's an extension of the female-driven sex party Killing Kittens.
I've heard of Killing
Not really,
Kittens.
it's not a sex party. I think that's the wrong word to use, but Killing Kittens.
Yeah.
So Killing Kittens joined forces with a lot of other kink parties like Torture Garden, He, She, They, Fox and Badge, and they created a platform where people who attend these parties can connect with each other. And you obviously already have something in common. You're going to these parties together, or you've met at these parties. And I met him on that app.
Right. So you met on the app.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it's a kink app, right?
Yeah.
So it's that sort of thing. Who messaged you first?
So he sent a like, and then I was like, this guy's not serious. So you kind of like, the app is still very female led.
So like Bumble, but the kinky version of that.
Yeah, but the men can send the first
Sounds
message.
great.
Whatever. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of
So
fun.
he sent a like, and I kind of just left it there, and then I was like, okay, let me accept his like.
Yeah.
And he sent the first message, and it was just like, it was very what we call vanilla. It was a very normal conversation. It was not straight up like, hey, what are your kinks? Let's get into this. It was very much like just a normal conversation.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So it went from there. What does he look like? Is he like a bigger guy or?
No, he's straight sized. So
And when you say straight size, just for clarification, what do you mean?
So straight size is someone who looks like most people. I guess it would be like average size clothing, small,
Okay.
medium, large,
Right.
like kind of like
So
that
that's
spectrum.
straight size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I see that term being used on TikTok a lot, so I just wanted to clarify what it meant.
So like straight size in woman would be like anything smaller than like a 10, and then mid size would be like 12 to 16,
Right.
and then plus size would be 18 and
Okay.
higher.
And these are UK sizes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So he's like a normal sized guy and that
Yes.
sort of thing. I've seen so much online about when a plus size woman is getting ready to go on a date, she feels the need to say, you do know I'm plus size, right?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about that experience.
So kind of when we started messaging, it was something I say all the time. I've been on many Tinder dates and field dates and whatever where you kind of have seen the disappointment, because obviously as a plus size person, I've learned to work my angles. And then you would meet up this person with a
So
date.
with your angles, do you mean like the camera's
The
here?
camera angle looking up from
looking
the
up.
side, you know, like kind of like
Right.
to make me accept myself a little bit more, to be like a picture and be like, oh, I really like that picture, type of thing. And then you would kind of see the disappointments on people's face when they thought you were maybe a little bit more straight sized. And then so I always would lead with it. I'd be like, I'm a bigger girl, like I'm not skinny, like I'm not ashamed of it, but I don't want you to be disappointed. I want you to be like, oh, we have such good conversation on the app or whatever, and then in real life you're almost ashamed to be seen with me. I don't want you to feel that. So
oh my god, you feel the need to say this to people?
Yeah. So
this is hard. I'm sorry. I want to. There'll be people listening to this that'll be absolutely shocked about what you've said, because for the vast majority of people, it's not even something that enters their mind to say to them.
Yeah.
If there's anything, I mean, I'm trying to think of it from a male perspective. Maybe they'll say, maybe I've got a bit of a dad bod.
But like the dad bod is in now, like it's generally accepted.
But it's what you're saying is absolutely shocking, that you feel the need to say, so that it doesn't disappoint them. I mean, what about your feelings in all of this?
I think that I feel my feelings and I'm responsible for them. I don't want to make someone else feel things they don't want to feel. So I would rather not meet up with you and like be straight off when you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not really into plus size women. You know what? Cool. That's fine. Like, I completely get that. Then you tell me like, oh, it's okay. Like, I really want to get to know you. And then we meet up and I can physically see the disappointment in your face, or I can like tell from your emotions, like, hey, you're not in it anymore because you saw what I look like.
Right.
So I would rather lead with, hey, like, I'm not a skinny girl. Like, just so you know.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen, because feeling like that outside and seeing that would hurt me.
Okay, so you've said to them already, look, this is who I am.
And I always say it like more than once. I was like, I think my partner and I spoke for a week.
Yeah.
And kind of like every time we'd be like, oh, we're so excited to like, we had set a date. We were going to go on a date.
And you said before, what do you say? I'm plus size or a bigger girl?
I'm whatever, like I'm plus size, I'm a little bit heavier, I'm a bigger girl.
Do you ever refer to yourself as, sorry to say this, but I have to just use the word. Do you ever refer to yourself as fat?
Yes.
Okay, so did you say to him, you're fat?
No, I always, like, I hate that word. It's an awful word. Like, it makes me feel shitty. Now I will say it to him in like a joking way.
Yeah,
like,
because
because
you're together,
I love him
you
now,
can
exactly.
say that.
Like,
yeah, of course.
But in the beginning, it's never a word I use because I think it has really negative connotations.
Of course, yeah. There's a whole list of, it's like stereotypes with anything.
Exactly.
Right?
So I think the plus size community has created the word plus size to make it less negative. Because it's not a bad thing. Like who is it hurting me looking this way? No one.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be a bad thing. Like...
Yeah, so you just said to him...
So I just said to him, I'm plus size.
Yeah. Like,
I'm a little bit bigger. I'm not an average size girl. I don't look like girls. Like, leading things like, if you're looking for an Instagram model, it's not me, friend.
But
like,
who is an Instagram model these
exactly
days? Everybody uses these filters and things.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And every time he was like, it's okay. He's like...
Had he been with bigger girls before?
I found out after we started dating that he had.
Okay.
And so I was like, cool.
Yeah.
I guess kind of when we started talking, I mean, you meet on this app where they heavily feature like kink and fetish and whatever, and he's not from the kink or fetish community. He happened to stumble across the app because someone in his building told him he met the person he was with on that app.
Yeah, and it obviously worked.
Yeah.
Because he met you.
So he downloaded the app, and within like, I was the first person he matched with, and we just kind of,
So tell me about the first date.
It was terrifying for me. Because even though you say these things, a lot of people will be like, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And then it's not fine. So he kind of asked me, like, what do you want to do on our first dates? And I like to do an activity, so it gives us something to, like, talk about. So we went to Pot Shack.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, that's mini golf, right? Yeah, mini golf. Quite popular in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to Pot Shack, and I was so nervous, and I had just bleached my hair because it used to be red. And
oh, are you natural ginger?
No, this is my natural color.
Okay, yeah.
And then I like dyeing it red, like a nice like full red. Yeah. And then it was kind of growing out, so then I bleached the whole thing, gone back to my natural color, and I was like a little bit blonde, and I was sitting there nervous, and I remember I was like in a black dress, and I kind of like was in a corner in Pot Shack so that I could see him coming in, and I could like gauge what was going on. And he messaged me to be like, I'm 2 minutes late, but I'm coming in down the stairs, whatever. And kind of when I saw him and he came up and said hello to me, it was like this instant, I was comfortable.
Yeah.
And
well, because sorry for this is putting words in your mouth. Is it because you could see that there was no disappointment?
He was so excited to see me. Yeah, like he saw me and he gave me this like huge smile when he walked in and he saw me, and it was just kind of like I could breathe out, like okay, like
this is so important what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
I think I don't know if you realize how important all of this is, like, because so many people just when they're going on a date, they're not necessarily thinking of all of these things. Yes, you want the other person to like you. Yes, you think whatever, are they going to be a little bit disappointed? But what you go through is that times 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you saw that it was accepted, he was accepting and everything.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, this is going to be good.
Yeah. And we had only been talking for 7 days before we went on our first date. And I kind of mentioned to him that I had a friend who went on a first date, and not even a first date, just on a date, and the guy they went on a date with bought them Lego flowers.
Okay.
And I'm obsessed with Lego, and I was like, that is the cutest shit I've ever seen in my whole life. And so he bought me Lego flowers on our first date.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's really trying to get you, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Tried to win you over.
And we had like the best time at Pat Shack, and it was just this instant, like, and I can say it now because we've been together for just over a year, and like I told him, thank you. It felt like home. It felt like I could like just exhale and be myself and not have to worry about sucking my tummy in or...
And have you had to do that before? You've had to... Yeah. So if you were to compare him, like a date with him, like what was your worst date ever?
I tend to, like, I can't sit and be like, oh, I've had a bad date when something has gone wrong. I tend to, like, from messages, just get the vibes and then kind of know what's going to happen. I was seeing a guy for a while, and... kind of chatting. It was very casual. It was like nothing serious at all. And he kind of told me when he wanted to end it that he just wasn't physically attracted to me when he wasn't high.
Wow.
So I was like, cool, bro. Like, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know what to say to that. Like, smoke a joint and I don't know, but
yeah.
Like,
but the whole thing of I just wanted to touch on what you were saying, the whole thing of the disappointment on the face. Have you seen that a lot when you go on dates, that the disappointment, like the guy's face drops, or sorry, you're bisexual, so
yeah,
we'll get onto that in a minute, but the person's face drops?
No. When I would go on dates, I would have an outfit that was flattering. I would only wear black.
Can I just say, you've just used the word flattering?
Yeah, because I know what other people expect. So I would have never worn an outfit like this on a first date because...
You look lovely. Why not?
Because in light colours, it might be considered not flattering, whereas black is slimming. We wear black dress because it makes me look slimmer.
Right.
And I would never go out with no makeup on like today. It would be like a full makeup because I'm going to impress this person. Hair done, full makeup, a black dress or full black outfit so I look slimmer.
Right.
Because I don't want this person to have any reason to say like, oh, you don't look like your pictures, or, oh, okay, fine, you know, kind of thing. So I was always like, and I was like that with him. Like I wore a black dress on our first date and I had full hair and makeup done. And, you know, on our second date, I wore like yellow wide leg trousers and the reaction was still the same, like a little crop top and yellow wide leg trousers. And he was like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. I think the difference comes in is that with him, with other dates, I had never really planned like date activities. It was very much of that hookup culture.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, we'll meet at a bar for a drink and then we'll go back to mine. And you're like, I know what's going to happen.
Did you have sex on the first date?
Him and I? No.
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever done that before?
Tons of times.
Yeah. Well, I was just assuming because you met on a king cap. So I was like, there's so much I want to touch on. So I'm going to try and remember everything I want to say. So your current relationship at the moment, how is it going? Is it going well? You've been together for a year.
It's been together for a year. We've just moved in together.
Oh, that's nice.
It's going really well. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We spoke on the phone. You did mention that sometimes people look.
Yeah. Like I said, my boyfriend is a very average white man. He looks like a very average white man. I love him. I think he's the most handsome man in the world. But when you look at him, he looks like you would expect a 25-year-old young white guy to look.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, when like we'll walk in the shops we go to Westfield London quite a bit, and we'll be separated, and then he'll like walk over to me and hold my hand, and I think a lot of people do like a double take to almost be like, well, plus size people should date other plus size people, you know, like you shouldn't be dating someone who looks like that. And it bothers me. I notice it. He is so happy-go-lucky, and I'm so happy that he's never had to experience these things. But
So you see the double takes quite a lot.
yeah,
Really?
but he does notice them because he just wants to hold my hand, or he just wants to talk
because he's in
to
love
me.
with you. That's why. Yeah.
But I notice the looks, and I notice like if I'm wearing something and I'll ask him every time. I'll be like, "Does this outfit look okay? Like, can I go out like this?" Because I've
bless
been
you.
like, I want to say conditioned to ask those questions because that's what we've always done.
Is that what happens whenever you go out? Do you have to check?
I
that
ask
you're-
him like, "Does this
Oh my
outfit look
God.
okay?" Like,
No, but that's no. I say, oh my God, but I think a lot of women would say like,
Yeah.
do I look okay
Yeah.
today? Like
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But from you, it's coming from a different perspective.
it's not
because-
coming from like, do I look nice?
Well,
It's
does it
coming
look
from
flattering?
like, do I look flattering? Yeah, like, does this outfit make me look normal? Okay,
And how have you,
acceptable.
I mean, we're filming this like today. We're filming this in August, and it is hot in London.
Yeah.
What is the summer like for you?
I'm like I said, I'm 30. I'm kind of at that stage where I'm trying not to care. If it's hot, I'm gonna wear shorts and
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear a crop top, and like it's fine. And I say that like it's fine, I'll wear it, and I will wear it. But it might be like a difficult day because I'll be like, oh, I feel like everyone looked at my thighs today. I feel like people noticed that you could see like that small little piece of skin between my high waisted shorts and my
Yeah.
crop top, and I'll notice people who will like maybe look at me and like scan or whatever. Like I see those things. I am of the opinion that what I wear as a plus size person and what I do and what I eat doesn't affect anyone else. If people have an opinion about it, like, cool. You can have an opinion about it and you can go home and talk to your family about it. But it shouldn't affect your life. You
No,
shouldn't
it
let something
shouldn't,
like you shouldn't let something like what a plus size person is eating, wearing, or doing affect your life. And I think that even though it does sometimes still bother me, I'm trying my best to be like, well, it's hot. Like yesterday was 32 degrees.
I know it was boiling.
Like it was boiling. I'm
and
wearing
you're South African.
Yeah.
For you to say that it was boiling is
Yeah.
a big deal.
And when we left the flat and we did go out at lunchtime, we both work from home. I was wearing cycling shorts and an oversized t-shirt to be like,
Yeah.
summer vibes. And I did not give a shit who saw my
Good for
thighs.
you.
It was hot.
Yeah.
But there's days when maybe it's not so hot and you still take the risky outfits and you're like, okay, I hope nobody looks at me today, kind of thing.
Do you feel like you can confidently shop on the high street?
No. I feel like there's some, well, I say that. I think as a plus size person, you can never really know what your size is. So on a good day, maybe I can go into H&M and find stuff and buy jeans or whatever. Because H&M, I can be anything from an 18 to a 26. Like the sizing
In
is...
everything, like jeans.
Yeah.
So
I can't-
H&M's a good shop for you to go to.
Well, yes and no. But I can't tell you what size I am in H&M.
Okay.
So I will have to be like, okay, well, typically I'm an 18 or 20. Let me pick up that size.
Yeah.
But today I might be a 26 because the cut is weird or...
How does it make you feel, though, when you pick up something that's a size 26? Do you
The
care?
first time it happened, it shattered my heart. Like proper panic attack on the floor. I was like, how have I let myself get this big? And like, what is going... For me, I'm an emotional eater. So it's very linked to like past trauma and all that stuff. And
Absolutely. We'll get into that. If you want to, we don't have to talk about that if you don't want
I'm
to.
happy. That's
Okay.
fine. But it kind of like I almost got like, how have I let it get this bad? Like I need to get back to therapy. I need to take control of my life. And then I took those size 26 jeans and I held them up to my size 18 jeans, and they were the same size. And I was like, sizing is a joke.
It is, and as many of you probably have seen on TikTok, especially with women, if you like with women's clothing, you can be like 4 different sizes
Yes.
in 4 different shops.
So yeah, so sometimes
Yeah.
some days I can definitely shop on the high street and buy a whole new wardrobe and find
Yeah.
tons of things I like. And some days I can't.
I just want to clarify what the high street is for anyone listening to this who isn't from the UK. So the high street typically is where you find most of the, I'd say, affordable shops. So like
Like H&M, Zara.
H&M, Zara, All Saints,
Yeah.
Reese, places like that where the majority of people can find an outfit that they can afford. So, that's what the high street is. Can you shop at Zara?
Who can shop at Zara? Like, honestly. I can't shop at Zara because
Yeah.
they sell shoes and accessories.
Yeah. Oh, bless you.
I've never been a Zara girly anyway.
Okay.
It's not really my style. It's not really a place I've ever shopped. And it might have been because I know that Zara is not plus size friendly, and I've just kind of conditioned myself to not go there and not be into their clothes. But I can't shop at Zara, no.
Things have got so bad for you that you actually are a part of a WhatsApp group where you give tips to other plus size
Yes.
women where you can shop.
Where we can shop, where we can buy swimsuits, where we also like resell our clothes in there. So like vintage for plus size girlies or plus size people. And where if we find places that are like custom sizing,
Yeah.
or if we find a shop that's wildly inaccurate with their sizing, we kind of just share that all in there.
How did you find that group?
So it actually is a spin-off from one of the kink groups. So I was in a kink group that had like 2,000 people. They then created a community on WhatsApp that like broke off into different things we're all interested in. So there was like a general chat, but then there was a pre-loved clothing chat that spun out of that. And then kind of there were a lot of plus size people on that group that were just getting frustrated at seeing like all the size 8s and 10s that were being sold in there. And we were like, should we just create our own safe space and go there?
Yeah.
And it's grown quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And how many people are a member? How many members are there of this group?
I think like right now there's like 198.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a supportive.
Yeah, like I was in there the other day. My partner and I have actually gone back to the gym, and I was looking for like tank tops to train in.
Yeah.
And I was getting really mad because everywhere I was searching for like workout tops wanted to sell me something with a sleeve. And I was like, I'm going to be gymming and I'm plus size. Like, it's hot.
Yeah.
Just give me a tank top.
Yeah.
And so like I went into the group and I was like, can someone just tell me where the hell I can buy tank tops
Yeah.
to gym in?
And where did you find?
So then there like a lot of things came up, and it's a lot of shops that you generally wouldn't think about. So
ASOS is good though, right?
ASOS.
Yeah.
ASOS is at the moment pushing a lot of sleeve stuff, so that's why I got frustrated. But then things like Marks and Spencer came up.
Are they good for plus size?
Yeah, they stock in store. They generally go up to like a 22, 24.
Right.
Online, they go up to like a 36.
Amazing.
So very inclusive. And then places you wouldn't really expect, like George by Asda.
Yeah.
100%. To Clothing by Sainsbury's,
Yeah.
F&F, brands like that. That just come up. And then obviously a lot of girls or people in the group will say like, oh, actually, I'm selling a couple things. Do you want to take
Yeah,
them
and
off
you
my
can
hands?
just swap
And we
things
swap
and
things, yeah.
buy through that. One of the brands that I think is really impressive, and look, I'm coming from this as someone who isn't like a plus size man or woman or whatever, but do you know about Good American, like Khloe
Yes.
Kardashian's brand?
Yeah.
She started with an entrepreneur that I really like. She's called Emma Greed. She's this girl from East London, She started this brand with her, and she's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
She started Good American and Skims. Those brands are all about like diversity,
Yeah.
inclusion, and all of that. What do you think about
I
those
do
sorts
think
of
they're
things?
very inclusive in terms of sizing, and I typically haven't had a problem. I don't think they're inclusive in terms of wallet size.
Okay, so
it's
it's
a bit
more
pricey.
It's more of the premium end.
Yeah, and cost of living crisis in London is a real thing right now.
So what you want really is an affordable brand that plus size women can shop at.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
And I think a lot of the problem that we're facing right now is that plus size women you can't shop and be socially aware at the same time as a plus size person unless you have money, because the kind of places that are selling plus size clothing is like Shein. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to shop at Shein. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to buy a sewing machine and start making my own clothes.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
do you shop at places like Shein and PLT?
I have before. I have now made a conscious
effort,
decision
yeah.
to not be shopping there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm also like doing this huge wardrobe transformation where I only want to wear pink in my life. So yeah. So keeping like black, whites and neutrals and then only pinks.
Yeah.
So it's giving me something to think about when I'm shopping. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
only want to buy pink, but I don't want to buy from Shein. I don't want to buy from brands that have a bad history like that,
Yeah.
you know. I'm not saying that high street brands are better. Zara is one of like the biggest problems in environmental stuff with clothing, but you have to, like, as a plus size person, you have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
Like, if my options are Shein and H&M,
It's not your fault.
exactly.
So you said that you mentioned that it was tied to emotional eating.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me a bit more about that?
I went through a trauma when I was younger. It happened for a while, never ever addressed it, and kind of just ate those feelings
Yeah.
away. It all then like accumulated when I was like 19 into a huge thing, and then I went into therapy and like understood what was going on. And I think that happens for quite a few plus size people, I think they have the same story. Like something happened, something really traumatic happened, and you ate those feelings because you know how to deal with them.
There is the stereotype, isn't there, that if someone is bigger, it's because they're lazy, it's because they can't be bothered to
Well, I
work
actually
out.
just saw a TikTok today, which like fueled my hatred for just people in general, where a woman said, and it comes from a place of privilege, clearly, the way she said it. She said that if you are overweight, you have privilege, because if you have access to the kind of food that can sustain you being overweight, then you have more privilege than people who can't afford that food. And I was like, what a nice way to paint my trauma as a privilege. Like, oh yeah, I'm totally privileged in life. I went through this really horrible thing between the ages of like 6 and 11, and yeah, cool, privilege. I got to eat my feelings. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone sees it that way. And if you don't have a lived experience, I don't think you can talk to it, because to tell someone that they're lazy or they're privileged or something like that because they're plus size, you don't know what's going on. It's
Yeah.
like telling an anorexic person or someone who suffers from bulimia
Yeah.
that they're privileged, like,
Yeah.
oh, you're a size 8, you're so privileged.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You don't know what's going on.
you don't know the reason why a person is in that
Yeah.
situation. And yeah, I'm kind of at this place now where I'm trying to proactively teach the people around me that you shouldn't comment on something on someone that they can't change immediately. So you can say things like, I like your hat, that's a cool shirt, cool shoes. Because if they don't like it, they can take the hat off, or they can change their shoes. Or if it's something that they can't change immediately or they can't do something about right now, keep your comments to
Yeah.
yourself.
Absolutely. Have you found that the experience with dating women has been different with body acceptance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how?
I think women live, it doesn't matter what size you are as a woman, you've lived some kind of experience where someone has told you that something on your body is not okay. And it could be your boobs are not big enough, or your boobs are too big, or you have big thighs, or
Yeah.
you have a big bum, or you don't have a big bum, or anything like that. Like, women have been through it,
Yes.
so they're way more accepting. They're also, kind of the women I've been with, or the non-binary people I've been with, or play with, or have been out with, are a lot less tied to what you look like physically. They're way more interested in who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that men aren't, but there is that initial, when men date for looks, that like, and it's been proven through science that a man is initially attracted to what you look like, and then he learns who you are. Whereas a woman can, or a non, I think it's easier with women.
Did you ever consider just being with a woman?
Yes, there has been hundreds of times where I was like, that's it, I'm off men, I'm done. But people, like, I like people for who they are, not for their
Yeah.
gender or what they do. So if I meet someone, or I chat to someone, or I chat to someone off the group, and then we connect or whatever, it doesn't matter what their gender are or how they gender themselves.
Are you still on the app now?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's just
I'm still in all the WhatsApp groups because we have like a really good
Yeah.
community out there, but not in the apps anymore. No.
Okay. What I also wanted to know, like, so you're in a happy relationship, everything's great. One of the things that I've seen a lot, and I want to know if this is true because I've seen this everywhere, the gym bros are really into bigger girls, aren't they?
Yeah.
What is that about?
I don't know.
Like, when you were matching with guys online, were a lot of them like these big, muscly gym bros that wanted to, be
Yeah.
with a bigger lady?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I think it might be a fetish. I think it might be like, because a lot of them are also like, they're not necessarily like a let's go out on a Saturday afternoon and be seen in public and go for walks or have dinner together or anything. They're more of the ones I've been with are more of the like, we'll just come over and we'll hang out.
So it's just that they just want to fuck you, really.
Yeah. It's not about...
And have you gone there with quite a few of them?
Yeah. Well, who doesn't want to have sex with a very attractive man?
But then how do you feel at the end of that? So, like, you've had sex, like, it's over, and then what, you just get tossed out?
Most of the time I would leave.
You just say, okay.
I'm like, I know you can't... In my head, when I was dating and that was happening, in my head it was, you can't look like that and want to be with someone who looks like me. So thanks for a good time. I'm out.
Yeah.
And that was okay. Like, I could separate myself from those emotions. it was like that with my partner. I was like, you can't look like that. I want to be with someone who looks like me. And he was like, yeah, I can.
Were you nervous the first time that you had sex
Yeah.
with your partner?
Yeah.
So what was going through your head? Tell me about it.
We were literally, I was like, like, I'm bigger. He's like, I'm looking at you. He's like, you're beautiful.
So you were even saying I'm
Even
bigger,
then, like,
even
yeah.
though he'd met you several
Yeah.
times. Like, you didn't have sex on the first date. What was it, the second?
No, so we kind of waited like a week.
Okay.
So we had been like on 3 or 4 dates in that week. And yeah, I was just kind of still like,
You were
I
still
don't want you to
saying,
see my body, and like,
oh,
I'm like a little bit ashamed. And
God bless you.
and even now, like, if he puts his hand on my tummy, I'll be like, oh my God, don't touch my tummy.
Really?
Yeah. And he'll be like, you're a crazy person. And I'll be like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah.
Wow. And so what has made you want to go to the gym?
It helps with my mental health.
Yeah.
I have been diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, and depression.
Yeah.
And for me, the gym is a good outlet. It's a better outlet than eating. Again, cost of living crisis. I can't afford to eat anymore. So, we have gym memberships. We might as well use them.
Okay.
I also, I can't do like high impact exercises, and the gym we go to has a pool. So then I can just
Nice.
swim. And,
So swimming's your favourite thing?
swimming is
Yeah.
my favorite thing. Yeah.
But I think even that is like a big statement to make. Like, as a plus size woman, you absolutely
Well,
can get in the pool.
We were at like the private members club, Soho House, on Sunday. We went for a swim.
Yeah.
And I was in a high-waisted bikini because even though I'm comfortable in my body, I realized that people might want to look at someone who's plus size. So I buy a high-waisted bikini, and I was like, cool, let's go swimming, whatever. And then we were just kind of laying there, and I was tanning, and it was 29 degrees Celsius, and it was hot. And I turned and I said to him, I've noticed that here I'm the only person who looks like me.
I did want to say that. Look, this is how I know Kelby. It's through Soho House, which we both love. But yeah, I totally get that. Like, it is one of those places where you probably might feel like everybody works out, or everybody lives quite a healthy diet, or eats a healthy diet, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I looked around, and he was like, yeah, okay, cool. He was like, you're beautiful. Go back to tanning. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And, that was the end of that discussion. But it's something I noticed. It's not something he noticed, but it's something I noticed.
It's so lovely of him, though, because it's like, what's it? Do you want to say his name, or should we
his
keep
name
it?
is Tom. It's
Tom,
fine.
Tom the legend. He doesn't seem to care about what anyone thinks. Like, he's just solely into you.
Yeah.
It's you that cares what other people think.
Yeah. And it was like little things, like if we're out and we're having like a good dinner, let's say I'm from South Africa, I really love a steak. So we'll go out for steak dinner quite regularly.
Wait to go to. I'm going soon. I can't wait to try that.
And we'll go out for steak and we'll have like a good dinner, and then I'll be like, oh, I really want dessert. And then we're like, get dessert. I was like, I don't want people to judge me because I'm getting dessert.
So do you ever feel weird going to a restaurant, like, as a date? Like,
I love going out with him. I love trying new restaurants. I used to be a pastry chef. So
oh, cool.
I love going out and trying new places. I get nervous when we're doing like an 8-course tasting menu. I don't want people to think like I need to eat 8 courses of food, because I don't want people to judge me in that way. Or like little things like I've recently been diagnosed with a pain mobility issue.
Yeah.
And I say to him, like, my biggest concern right now is that I don't want people to think I'm taking the lift because I'm lazy. Because people see a plus size person in the lift, and you can, like, people can simply be like, that's not my first thought, but your first thought always is, oh, of course they're taking the lift. And I want to take the stairs, trust me.
When you get in a lift or something, is that how you feel? Like,
that is how, every time I get in a lift, that is how I feel.
oh, fuck what they think. Like, if you want to get in that lift, then get in it. And I think the main thing, like, whenever someone comes on my show, I'm fiercely defensive of them, because, look, it's not easy to come here and to speak about things. And you've hardly touched a drink. I've drunk more than you. Like, very, very brave of you to do all of this. And I'm sure a lot of women are going to appreciate what you've said. But I just think, everyone deserves acceptance. I think of other people that have come on this show, like, especially in season 1, I love all of those people, but everyone that came on that show was, as you'd say, straight sized, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do with this season. It's like show people from not just like being a bit bigger, but being non-binary, whatever. Let's include more people. And I think, the more that we shine a light on these things, hopefully the more acceptance there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that the stigmatization doesn't come from our generation, and it doesn't come from the generations below us,
Oh,
because
absolutely not.
nobody gives a
Yeah.
shit. Like, I can sit here, and it's something that I talk about in therapy, and like my last 10 weeks of therapy have been solely based on like acceptance of myself, because I'm plus size, and like little things like I said to my therapist, like, I'm really concerned that when I shop as a plus size person, people might judge what I'm putting into my basket because I'm plus
Kelby, you
size.
shouldn't care.
And then my therapist literally said to me, she's like, do you look in other people's baskets
Yeah.
and judge them? And I was like, no. And then she's like, why do you think people are doing it to you then?
Yeah.
Like, the amount of, like, she's like, people don't give a shit, and neither should you. Like, just...
Do you feel the same way at the supermarket then? If you're thinking of what you're putting in your basket, or like whatever, if you're going to the shop, do you think the same thing? Like, if you're at the supermarket, people are judging what's in my basket?
And can I tell you, she actually did a survey. Like, they did an anonymized survey in the UK, and they asked that question to like 15 people across the UK, and they were like, do you look? And people were like, I don't notice what people put in their basket. And it was literally only that physical proof where she could be like, people don't care, and I could be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
people don't care. Like, do you feel like, for you, you've gone through so much and you've been so vulnerable, and again, thank you for doing that. I think you're absolutely incredible for saying all of this. But do you think you'll ever get to a point where you finally feel confident within yourself to think, I am Kelby, I don't give a shit what anyone else thinks?
No. I mean, I can sit here and hope, and I really do hope I get to that point at some point in my life, but I come from a country where things are not as free or easygoing as it is in London.
Yeah.
I think, I come from a community where things happen in a straight line. You go to school, you go to university, you get married, you have kids, you die. Everyone does that. And when I lived in South Africa, I was kind of the opinion that I would never get that, because I don't look like the girls in social media, in any media, and people don't want to be with me. And I was okay with that. I was like, yeah, cool, yeah, I'll just be that aunt who travels and, whatever. And when I came to London, I was a lot more accepting of myself. Before I came to London, I moved to France, which was even worse for...
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
I could imagine. Yeah.
For self-esteem issues, it was even worse. But then I moved to London, and it's a city where people really and truly don't care about what you're doing. And I mean it in the nicest way possible. You can go on and carry on with your life, and you can do it in any way you want.
Yeah.
And nobody is passing judgment. And like, you see the weirdest things when you walk on the streets, and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you like, it's kind of that stay in your lane mentality.
Yeah.
That has kind of given me a little bit of confidence to be like, hey, maybe I can date, and maybe I will find someone who loves me, and maybe one day I can love myself a little bit more. I'm sure you will. The main thing in all of this is you're getting the help that you need. You've got a partner. That's the most amazing thing. If there's a plus size woman listening to this, I mean, of course there will be, so I'm sure this is going to do really well. You've been so honest and so vulnerable. What would you say to them about the dating experience? If you had any words of advice. I don't want to give the traditional spiel of it gets better and the one is out there. I think you need to find acceptance within yourself before people will find acceptance in you. And I've sat here for however long I've sat here and been like, I hate myself and I have all these issues or whatever. And I say that now, but I'm in a much better place than I was, say, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I reached that point where I could be like, I'm okay with who I am and I'm happy with who I am, that I was able to invite people into my life who liked me for me.
Well, we're friends now. Well, hopefully you'll be my friend.
Hopefully, yeah, definitely.
I think you've been absolutely brilliant. God, I'm blown away, as I'm sure loads of people listening to this will be. And I know I've said that repeatedly throughout this show, but I've been shocked, and we spoke before this. Yeah. But what I do want to say is, if you are listening to this, if you are plus size or anything like that, if you don't want to be called plus size, if you want to be called bigger, or what's another term that you'd use?
I think kind of
plus size,
yeah.
Okay, if you're listening to this and you are a plus size person, hopefully you do feel seen by this. I'm making every effort to include every single walk of life within this show, because inclusion is important. And Kelby's done an amazing job today
Thank you.
of really shining a light on this. Do you have like an Instagram handle or something that
I
people
do.
can
It's
handle? People that can follow.
yeah. My Instagram is kelbs_p. So that's KELBZ_P.
Brilliant. Guys, I'm Terrell. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow here, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.